So unfortunately, I'm going to have to now arrest you on suspicion of keeping somebody in slavery and servitude.
I am a judge in my country. I even have immunity. I am not a criminal.
When you hear people talk about white supremacy, patriarchy, like, there are slave owners right now. It's really clear the more you look into it. Oh, the reason that the progressive left, the reason that the Marxists in the Western world don't want to address that is because anytime you go to where it's practiced, it's inconvenient for their narrative. This one's for me.
Is it really?
It happened last year, and we wrote about it on the website. You know, a lot of you just check the website for references. We do a bibliography every show, but we write articles, and Brodigan's my longest standing employee, does a great job. Mm-hmm. Somehow, though, this next story, it missed being the headline for all the news last year, like, meaning you may not have heard of it, and it should have been the number one story, the number one headline, I would argue, ever. So a human rights judge, Lydia Mugambe, was convicted of having a slave.
Free Lydia Mugambe!
Lydia Mugambe, a UN and Ugandan judge, has today been sentenced to 6 years and 4 months in jail after she was convicted on March 13th this year of bringing a woman into the United Kingdom illegally and then forcing her to work as a slave.
Yes. Yes, a human rights judge.
Wow.
Slave. Also, the court noted Mugambe's complete, total lack of remorse. This judge trafficked from Uganda to the UK under false pretenses of paid employment, then forced the slave to basically be a slave. This judge, by the way, was appointed to the UN IRMCT court, which prosecutes crimes against humanity at the Columbia University Institute for the Study of Human Rights.
Oh.
Look in your living room. You're doing it wrong. And it's just, look,
no way.
Here's the thing. When people say, they'll say, oh, if you trace actually, your ancestry back, one of the first slave owners in the United States was black. You don't need to go that far. This is now. Like, when people think now slave owner, and by the way, here's something important. You need to realize that's much more indicative of people who have slaves today. There are over 40 million slaves on earth as far as total number, more than ever right now. So when people talk about the evils of slavery in the past, it still goes on, like a lot. The reason that you don't hear about it is because people don't want to tell you where it goes on. Not in the United States, not in the Western world, Africa, Asia, Middle East, and this lady. And here's the worst part. This is the rules for thee, not for me. She actually was, we have videos, she was surprised that the police arrested her. And she tried to claim, I'm not joking, for slavery, diplomatic immunity. Bold choice.
So unfortunately, I'm going to have to now arrest you on suspicion of keeping somebody in slavery and servitude under the Modern Slavery Act. So you don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention my question, something which later on in court,
Officer,
anything you do say may be used as evidence. All right? Sorry?
I am a judge in my country. I even have immunity. I am not a criminal.
You've got immunity in this country?
Yes. I have a diplomatic passport.
You're a diplomat?
Yes.
She doesn't need to deny the
We'll
crime.
need to see that then.
Yes.
And then we'll need to speak to the embassy. If you are a diplomat.
I came here as a student. I don't need her to work for me. I didn't come with her. She asked me because she has worked at my home before. She asked me.
Yeah, well, no one's saying that you have anybody work for you. They're saying you have a slave.
Right.
Please, let me be your slave.
Yes.
She's been a slave for me before in my home country.
Look, I will cut her hours. We good? There's over 40 million, some numbers have them as high as 50 million slaves in the world right now. And it's the thing, you import the third world, you become the third world. And often you think, as it relates to importing the third world, you think of people who may be slaves, you think of people who may be uneducated. But you have to understand that a lot of these places still have the remnants left over of a caste system, if not currently, still actively. Mm-hmm. Those people are just as much of a problem. Meaning people in the upper classes of society, they still behave in a way, or they view practices as acceptable that you rightfully would view as abhorrent. This lady, it didn't even occur to her that it might be a problem to have a slave. Also, just to be clear, and this is where you want some good old Black Americans in the mix, diplomatic immunity is not, to be clear, all-encompassing.
Diplomatic immunity. just been revoked.
Yeah, he's not too old for that shit. He can do that.
He's not.
I don't even like Danny. I don't even like Glover, and I'm rooting for him.
Why not?
He's the biggest lib there is.
Is he?
Oh, he's a huge. He's a socialist.
That sucks.
Yeah, he's an actual socialist.
Okay,
but still,
fine.
in that case,
I don't like him
I
either.
choose him over the slave owner.
He was great in Predator too.
I'm always. I was.
Who,
I
the
was
slave?
Like, I was like, yeah, that's right. I kind of skimmed past this. When you hear people talk about white supremacy, patriarchy, like there are slave owners right now. It's really clear the more you look into it. Oh, the reason that the progressive left, the reason that the Marxists in the Western world don't want to address that is because anytime you go to where it's practiced, it's inconvenient for their narrative. They'll say, oh, it took us too long to end slavery. Okay, why have these places not ended slavery? And you're going to have to come to one of two conclusions, maybe a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Either it's because of our deeply held Christian roots in this country, all men created equal. That's why people willingly sacrificed their own life to free slaves, which doesn't happen historically anywhere else in the world. So you go, okay, either it's faith or race. I tend to believe it's the values of this country more.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to come to one of those conclusions. You go, well, really, the only people not practicing slavery are white people, namely white Christian Westerners. That's why they don't want you to know. 50 million slaves on Earth right now. Did you know that? Comment below. We talk about it. Also, that's enabled, just to be clear, through open borders. Hundreds of thousands of sex slaves.
Incredibly crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy stuff. But I can't let this story go now.
I know.
Like, I have to go do some research into this. I have no idea why this didn't make national news headlines everywhere.
This was 1 year ago. It happened in March, where she was arrested. She was convicted in May or whatever. I'm curious, when we left that committee, didn't we? The UN, humanitarian or
the
human
UN
rights
IRMCT court.
Yeah, we left some human rights committee or something from the UN, and everyone was like, "Whoa, I can't believe we're doing this," and no one wanted to mention, one of the judges had a slave.
Yes. And by the way, if that came out, right, that person was caught, and you didn't even hear about it in most of the news, it tells you what else do you think is going on that people sweep under the rug with the UN? They don't. Just imagine you're the UN. You have to deal with countries of the world. Have you guys been to anywhere else in the world?
Tons of rape from the UN.
Tons of rape.
Yeah.
Tons of, it's like, oh, let's all get along. Yeah, but what about the nations that are okay with slavery? What if I don't want to link arms with them?
Right.
It's silly. It doesn't work. And then people will say nationalism means racism. Okay, fine. I want to have a clear border between our practices, our views, and people like that. And there are more of them than you realize. YouTube's is something you're not allowed to say according to the guidelines. I was quoting the guidelines. I'm glad you're still here. It means you watched this video all the way through. Oh, it says here that Rumble, where you can go follow my channel, lets you say pretty much anything, provided it's not illegal. That reminds me of, what does it remind me of? Oh, yeah, YouTube, pre-2015. Go on and follow me there. I'm live, 11 a.m. Eastern, weekdays. Don't call YouTube a. Oh, it's just a different way of saying it's.